Welcome to the Brain Alpha. Today we are breaking down legendary American business philosopher Jim Rohn's counterintuitive framework for massive success. Listen, if you've ever felt like you're just totally stuck in a rut, and that standard just think positively advice isn't doing a single thing for you, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to explore how some of the most incredibly successful people in history actually harnessed a much darker, much more powerful engine to drive their achievements.
So let's dive into this explainer and completely dismantle the toxic positivity myth. We're constantly bombarded with this idea that we just need to smile, be happy, and focus on positive vibes all the time, right? But let's be real for a second. By understanding why merely being positive isn't enough, we can actually dramatically change our lives. Jim Rohn realized a long time ago that positive thinking alone just doesn't have the teeth to pull you out of a deeply ingrained, mediocre situation. Actually, it turns out that sometimes your negative emotions are the ultimate rocket fuel you need to launch yourself into a totally new reality.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. Number 1, the positivity myth. Number 2, the power of total disgust. Number 3, the art of decision. Number 4, awakening true desire. And finally, number 5, unwavering resolve and action.
All right, jumping right into section 1, the positivity myth.
Before we get into the actual emotions themselves, we kind of have to look at the pedigree of this framework. Jim Rohn wasn't just some guy theorizing. He influenced absolute titans in the self-improvement space. We're talking about heavy hitters, household names like Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Darren Hardy, and Jack Canfield. He taught them how to repair their lives, literally in a single day, using raw, unfiltered emotion. He showed them that success isn't just about feeling good. It's about harnessing a very specific sequence of feelings to force a permanent, irreversible change in your trajectory.
Moving right along to section 2, the power of total disgust.
Think about that moment of ultimate frustration. You know, getting utterly sick of living paycheck to paycheck, counting every single penny before payday, or just dealing with an absolutely terrible boss. That breaking point is the exact moment true change begins. It's when you finally draw a massive line in the sand and yell out loud, "I've had it. I have had it up to here." Sure, it sounds negative, doesn't it? But that raw, visceral anger at your own situation, it is incredibly powerful. It is the absolute rejection of the mediocre.
You basically have to be entirely fed up with your current situation before you can launch into a new life. Think about it. If you're just mildly annoyed by your lack of money or kind of bummed about your unfulfilling job, you're just going to tolerate it. You learn to live with the pain. But total disgust? Wow. Disgust is the literal spark that ignites the rocket engine. It's that light bulb realization that you are meant for way more, and you refuse to spend even one more second accepting less than you deserve.
Which brings us to section 3, the art of decision.
Now this is fascinating. Look at the actual root of the word decision. Coming from Latin, it literally means to cut off. It means completely burning your boats and eliminating all other options. When you truly make a decision, you aren't just picking something that sounds nice off a menu, you are actively and aggressively killing off every alternative path. There is no plan B.
Let's contrast a person who wants a little bit of everything with a true action taker. The delusional dreamer wants it all, right? They want the steady, safe paycheck and the wild success of a new venture, but without giving up any of their free time on the weekends. They've got one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake, so they literally go nowhere. A true action taker, on the other hand, embraces that do-or-die mentality to move forward. They don't just ask, "What do I want to gain?" They ask the hard question, "What am I willing to completely give up to get it?" Embracing that pain of letting go is exactly what frees up your energy to actually succeed.
Next up is section 4, awakening true desire.
Desire is a funny thing because it can be sparked by absolutely anything in your environment. It could be a lyric in a song you hear on the radio, a deep late-night conversation with a friend, or honestly, even a random explainer just like this one. But here is the critical key. The desire itself has to be entirely yours. You must never, ever suppress or apologize for what you truly want to achieve. So many of us put a lid on our desires, you know? We think they aren't realistic or society tells us we shouldn't want those things. But to fuel this dark engine of success, you have to look at what you truly want, own it completely, and let that desire run red hot.
And finally, we arrive at section 5, unwavering resolve and action.
Let me ask you a profound question that completely reframes how we look at effort, failure, and ultimate success. If you ask any parent how long they're willing to let their child try to walk before just throwing in the towel and deciding, well, I guess they're just going to crawl forever, they would look at you like you are completely insane.
Because the answer is beautifully simple. A baby keeps trying until they walk. They try, they fall down, they try again, and they just keep going until they get it. This brilliantly proves that the very concept of failure is a learned behavior. Babies don't have a concept of failure. True resolve means adopting that exact infant mindset. You continue until the goal is met, period. End of story.
Now contrast that relentless, beautiful resolve of an infant with the completely embarrassing cycle of delusion most of us adults fall into when we try to start a diet or a new side hustle. We set a goal, we hit the gym or grind on our business for exactly 3 weeks, we don't wake up a millionaire or with a six-pack, and we just quit. We throw our hands up and say, well, it's just impossible for me. We totally lack the basic resolve to just keep walking until we walk.
And this brings us to an absolute heavy-hitting truth from Jim Rohn. Affirmation without discipline is the beginning of delusion. This is the pivot point. We are moving from raw emotion to the absolute, non-negotiable necessity of physical action. All the disgust, all the firm decisions, and all the burning desire in the world will not save you if you don't actually do the physical work.
You simply cannot visualize success sitting on your couch, wearing your pajamas, and binge-watching Netflix. It doesn't work that way. You can stand in front of the bathroom mirror all day long reciting, I am wealthy, I am successful, but if you don't actually leave the house and do something, you're just delusional. You have to convert your disgust and your resolve into daily physical execution in the real world. True action takers do not wait for wealth to arrive by magic. They roll up their sleeves and put in the physical work to build it.
Remember that emotions, even the most intense disgust and burning desire we've talked about, are just energy. That's all they are. They mean absolutely zero if you don't take physical action in the real world. Energy has to be directed into a vehicle to actually get you somewhere. Action is that vehicle. Once you make the true decision, the path is actually remarkably simple, because quitting is no longer an option on the table. You literally just put one foot in front of the other.
Consider this final mechanism of the framework. Failure doesn't just happen overnight. It's not some giant theatrical explosion that suddenly ruins your life. Instead, failure is the slow, compound result of tiny, daily procrastinations. It's that whisper of, I'll just do it tomorrow, or I don't really feel like it today, repeated over months and years. Success is the exact opposite. It's small, disciplined actions repeated every single day, fueled by the unwavering resolve to never, ever go back to where you started.
So, ask yourself right now, what piece of your own delusion are you going to stop tolerating today? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and help us build the hype. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.